and the safest country in Europe, with a unique multicultural society, picturesque nature, and ancient history. TMA offers various programs recognized by the World Federation of Medical Education, WFME, that enable its students to continue their studies and/or get employed anywhere in the world. TMA ascribes special importance to competence and professionalism. With theoretical knowledge and practical experience, students will be introduced to important values and key concepts relevant to medical practice. Competence-based medical education, CBME, is a key feature of our curriculum, which implies that the learning outcomes of the curriculum are formulated in such a way that the students are exposed to theoretical knowledge, practical skills implementation, and important medical values. Our students gain practical experience in 30 leading clinics in Georgia. Representatives of our partner universities are intensively involved in the development and modernization of educational programs, introducing modern teaching, learning and assessment techniques such that the Academy creates a quality-oriented, modern and equal learning environment where students gain practical experience along with theoretical knowledge. Academic personnel who constantly learn and evolve. Exchange programs with universities in European countries where they have the opportunity to excel and get qualified, in conjunction with intensively attending international conferences, seminars and trainings such as AMEE, AMSE, EUA, WFME, etc. The Academy has established the Student Curriculum Committee with a purpose to support and nurture students as necessary. The Academy offers students a variety of exchange programs at European universities, in conjunction with relevant clinical rotations, clerkships at various hospitals around the world.
European University is a higher education institution where education shapes the future. We are a student-oriented university and are creating a friendly environment for them. European University has many partners all over the world. Consequently, various exchange programs are offered to our students. European University implements numerous academic programs, namely in law, business administration, IT technologies, medicine, dentistry, psychology, etc. All programs are in full compliance with EU standards, and our diplomas are fully recognized in the United States of America, Canada, Great Britain, and in European countries. Currently, we are in a process of institutional accreditation. After the successful completion of this process, we will receive institutional accreditation by the accrediting body of the United States of America. It should be underlined that European University is distinguished by its medicine faculty, which prepares high-level professionals both for national and international labor market.
important to participate in this kind of operations. I mean, like, if you want to be the best, you have to collect all this experience, exercise, practice makes you the best.
It's a very good place to practice because in school you learn a lot of theory, and in the simulation center you learn how to connect the theory with practice.
Well, it's very efficient and very valuable to us as medical students and future doctors because we get to practice what we in fact have to work with, and it's a completely different thing to learn things in theory and to do it in practice. And here we get to do that, so we're very grateful for this simulation center and for our very experienced and talented teachers as well.
Well, if someone would have told me that in second year student I will be participating in a congress, an international one, even if it's a student one, presenting my own, or our own project about cytomegalovirus, I will have said that that's science fiction.
I don't say it's only the scientific work that is actually really nice in Białystok. It's as well like the small community that we're living in and the English division that we can actually really appreciate, that we have different sports clubs, activities done, for example, in anatomy where we can do outside school.
My plans are to go and work in Sweden for a year, and later on I'll continue doing my residency in the UK, and I would like to do neonatology, so I'm going to pursue my dream of becoming a neonatologist.
It's also very cool that this university is in a palace, a very historical place. The entire medical campus is placed very closely to each other, so it's very simple to just get around by bike.
The city of Novi Sad is located in the lush fertile flatlands in the north of Serbia along the Danube River. Opposite to the Fruška Gora mountain and national park, the city is situated on both banks of the Danube. Located opposite to the scenic Petrovaradin fortress, Novi Sad is the capital Vojvodina province and the second largest city in Serbia. Its abundant cultural heritage and present status offer rich content of various cultural manifestations throughout the year and place Novi Sad on its rightful place at the center of cultural map of Serbia. The city of Novi Sad, one of the most beautiful in the region, is a university center which comprises 14 faculties, 2 institutes, 8 university centers, Association of Centers for Interdisciplinary and Multidisciplinary Studies and Research, ASIMSI, 10 centers, and faculty research centers, which offers a variety of educational opportunities for students, lifelong continuing education, research and advancement. The University of Novi Sad was founded in 1960 and today is the second largest among 6 state universities in Serbia, with its main university campus covering an area of 259,807 square meters. The main campus is located along the picturesque Danube embankments with a stunning view of the Petrovaradin fortress, making this a perfect place for contemplation and development of vibrant young minds. Welcome to the Faculty of Medicine, Novi Sad. You have made the right choice for your professional and continuous education as well as research. We wish you the best results during your studies in the future. We will try our best to provide you with knowledge on the basis of the tradition of our faculty and modern techniques, methods and principles of teaching for noble professions you have chosen. To you and our patients, knowledge for health. Teachers and employees of the Faculty of Medicine, Novi Sad.
Good evening to all who are joining us today. So before we dive into the exciting content that we've prepared for you today for our Medlink Students November webinar, I want to say that we are so excited to see all of you aspiring medical professionals, the future doctors of Medlink's family, join us here today. Today, we have our experts to tell you more about the process of studying in Europe. Students who were in your position one day, they decided to go to Europe to achieve their dream. They will come today to come and tell you about their experience and what a fun experience it is to them. Feel free to ask all your questions in our webinar feature of Q&A. We have a team of experts prepared to answer all your questions tonight. We will also choose some of these questions to go over them live. We will have experts and we will have students who will be answering these questions. So stay tuned, everyone. I would like to introduce to you our speakers who will be speaking today on the webinar. We have our expert advisors who speak to students to help them find the perfect university and answer questions and see the qualifications to see which university will be best for you. We have our senior expert advisors, Tom. We also have Edmund and myself, of course. We also have with us Victoria, one of our senior admission team, to handle students' applications and make sure that we secure a place for you in a university. We also have a great group of students who were passionate one day to study medicine and become doctors. They are here today. They volunteered to come tonight and share their experience with you. Now, we have a QR code for those today that would like to download the slides. Just if you want to write your own notes and questions before you have this one-to-one consultation with your expert personal advisor. So you can scan this QR code and download the slides. We will also share it later on again. So what we will go over today in a nutshell, we will be talking about many topics. We will go over who we are as Medlink students and how we help you. We will also shed light on the benefits of studying abroad. We will talk about some of the most popular universities that students go to in Europe that teach medicine in English, and we also have some universities in the Caribbean, in addition to the tuition fees and living expenses. So you have a rough idea how much is it going to cost you when you go and study abroad. We will also go over how we help you as Medlink students throughout the process, from the minute you start deciding to go to Europe to choose the university you want to study in, to the minute of gathering the documents, all the way until you graduate. So we will tell you more how we help you as Medlink. And finally, we will have the Q&A section where we go over the most common questions. We will be choosing questions that you ask tonight during the Q&A section. We will go over some of these questions and have experts and students answer these questions for you. Now, to tell you more about what we are as Medlink students and what our team consists of, I would like to introduce one of our senior expert advisors, Edmund, to tell you more about that. Edmund?
Thank you, Dana. Hey, everyone. Good evening to you all. Good afternoon, wherever you're joining us. And thank you so much for being with us. It's always a pleasure to have you guys join us. Now, we've had a unique journey. Our doctors, or brave doctors, and dentists, they were students just like you. And as you're looking to apply to medical schools, they face the same challenges in trying to secure spots in medical and dental schools in the UK and other countries that we've had graduates. Now, that's by having the right grades, they encountered the rejections and, of course, decided to explore options beyond the UK and other countries where they're from. Now, picture them spending hours on end, diving into the research and looking into options that would be suitable for them, comparing the choices, dealing with those confusing entry requirements and deadlines of these schools, and the whole trying to get sense of the entire application process. Now, these struggles became the foundation of our mission. And you see, we've been through it all, figuring out the application, preparing for entrance exams, if needed, interviews. Going into a new country is a big deal, and it's a big step as well. Trying to make friends, and we truly understand how overwhelming the entire process and the journey can be. And that's why we're here. We're ready to assist you every twist and turn. Now, let me introduce you to our exceptional team. And these are made up of doctors and dentists who have basically walked the same path of studying abroad. And then there's me and my fellow senior advisors as well. And we're here to help you into your unique situation and your preferences. And we talk about everything, and we help you find a personalized option. So really pave the way for you to make an informed decision about your study ahead. Now, let's talk about our support network on the ground. Now, imagine you move into a new country for your education. It's a lot to handle. So with our team on the ground, you're never alone. And they'll help you settle in. They'll help you find the right place to stay. They'll address any immediate concerns that might pop up that you might not even think about, just to make sure that your transition is as smooth as ever. Now, of course, we can't forget about our admissions team. Now, they're the ones that ensure that your application is in shipshape for admission. And they'll hold your hand every step of the way, making sure that nothing goes amiss. And here's the magic. By joining all of our wisdom from our doctors, our expert advisors, our admissions team, our support team, we've got your back throughout this journey. So from this step to the last, we're here to provide you with every support you need. And we've got some students and exciting things for you to show you tonight. So stay tuned. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Edmund. So now you all have a brief idea of us Medlink students and how we help you. Let's hop on to the most exciting part. The benefits of studying abroad, of medicine and dentistry. I think Tom would be the best person to tell you about this.
Thank you, Dana, and good evening, everyone. I hope you're all looking forward to seeing through the rest of the webinar, especially getting in touch with all of the university representatives and the students that we'll see a bit later on. But let's talk about some of the benefits. These are just a few of many, many different benefits. Of course, one being the affordability of the courses, not just for the tuition fees, but also for the living costs. Many of these European countries offer fees that other countries just cannot even get close to competing with. And so it means that medical school is available to many, many people with a big variety of financial requirements when going to study. But as we always say, the cost doesn't equal the quality. So they have a very high quality of education. You can see just through all of the different accreditations and recognitions that these schools have across the world and of course within Europe. And that brings us on to the international environment. So you're not going to be the first people to go and study abroad. People have been taking these brave steps now for decades. And so going to some of these really popular schools abroad, you're going to have amazing international communities of students from your own country, as well as many other countries around the world, of course, and many of which being English speaking. So on top of that, you've also got the flexible admissions. So a lot of people, they feel once they get the first failure in their own country, they can't get through the admission. They think, this is it, I'm not good enough to be a doctor. But that's not the case. When you go and study abroad, the universities have a huge variety of different entry requirements. So whatever you've achieved in your academic history, we'll be able to find something for you. And of course, all of the courses are completely taught in English. So it's not something where you're going to have to learn a language before you go. And as I said, you have got global recognition with these qualifications. So again, we can pinpoint the right university for you depending on where you want to work as a doctor afterwards. Because many people, for them, what they want to do is be able to return home and go and practice. And so, of course, that's another huge benefit of being able to go abroad, is many of these courses are actually tailored for people to go back home. Some are actually tailored to meet UK requirements. Some are tailored for sitting the USMLE exams for the USA, for example. So these are many of the benefits. Of course, the variety of courses is massive. Modern facilities is another one that a lot of people look for. And of course, it's an essential thing nowadays. You can't go to a university and not have the modern facilities that you're going to then need to know about in the hospitals. So this is another huge benefit of going to Europe. They all have these standardized requirements where they must have these facilities. And yeah, those are just some of the top features for going to study abroad at the moment. Dana, I'm going to hand it back to you now to carry on. Thank you.
Wow, there's no better way to put the benefits of studying abroad in a more summarized way, but there's so many more advantages. We will be having students who will be telling you more about it in a bit later on in the webinar. So stay tuned, everyone, and wait for the students to hear their experience, because that's the best part. That's what students love, is to speak to other students in the same position as them. So thanks, Tom. Now, next up, we want to talk a bit about the situation in the UK and go over some statistics. Not that we don't look at other countries. We have noticed that this is the case in Western Europe in general, but we're going to use the UK as an example. So you have an idea of why studying in Europe has become one of the most popular things students look at nowadays. And the best person to tell us about this would be Edmund. I'll bring back Edmund here.
Thank you, Dana. This is a huge thing, and it is something that we've been dealing with for quite a long time. Now, applying to medical schools from your home countries is becoming a very, very big, significant challenge. A lot of students are competing for limited spaces, and of course the the number of applicants keeps growing and growing, and the seats keep staying the same. And basically, this leaves a lot of students who deserve to get an opportunity actually having to try again. Why is this happening? Now, a lot of students that we talk to, they're inspired more than ever to pursue medicine or even dentistry, but the schools just can't accommodate everyone. So this leads to intense competition among all the applicants, and it makes it really hard for qualified students to get in. You know, I talk to lots and lots of students who have all the A's, the A stars, they have the experiences, and they still can't get a place. Now, here in the UK, we are actually welcoming more graduates from EU and around the world. Now, right now, the NHS has a massive problem. And as you guys have actually witnessed some this year, they need 50,000 more doctors. Crazy, which is worse than any other European countries. So in order for them to fix this, they have to hire doctors from other countries. Now, a lot of concerns that we tend to get from students is whether or not they'll be able to use the degree back in the UK, whether you're not even from the UK, they get concerned. Now, you don't need to worry about this at all. Similar challenges and competition, this exists in many other Western countries as well. Now, it's common now for students to study abroad and then return back in the UK or their home countries to contribute to the healthcare system. And the UK is no exception. In fact, recent data from the last year, it really tells a compelling story. Over 10,000 international medical graduates joined the medical workforce in the UK, which basically surpassed the combined UK and EU graduates. Just crazy when you think about it. And that's more than the total number of doctors who have graduated from other countries as well as the UK. Now, this shows you how much the UK really needs doctors, and they're happy to hire from other countries. And the UK appreciates and the help of doctors from other countries to really fill the gaps, because that's what it seems to be. They take on other graduates. They, of course, the UK graduates come in, and then they have to take on more. Now, as you can see from the numbers, there is a serious lack of doctors in the UK. Now, if you're thinking about becoming a doctor, this is great news for you, because it means that there are lots and lots of opportunities waiting for you. Your qualifications are important, and you can really make a big difference as part of a big healthcare team. And you'll be joining a big group of people who care about making others feel better. Now, another question that I get asked a lot is, well, what is the length of medical school abroad? Now, medical education in Europe, particularly across other countries, this is where you'll study for 6 years. The first 3 years are what you would call the preclinical years. So you get introduced into kind of the basic sciences. You do some labs, you do some hands-on experience. You also do some clinical skills. You get to have those kind of hands-on experience a lot early on. And then the final 3 years are your clinical years. Now, those are where you get to learn more about the specialties in medicine. So specialties will be things like, learning about surgery, internal medicine, pediatrics, radiology. And this is where you get to immerse yourself really in interaction, bedside etiquette. And you graduate there as a doctor of medicine. Now, something great about doctor of medicine degree is that generally when you finish that degree, depending on the country, you're able to come back to the UK and qualify for FY2. Now, of course, going to other countries, you'll also be able to use the degree, like in the US, Australia, Canada, and many others. Now, for dentistry, this is either 5 years or 6 years. Now, the 5-year course, you can graduate there as a doctor of dental surgeon. And then 6 years, generally, you graduate, which is a master's equivalent. You graduate as a doctor of medicine and dentistry, DMD. These are the same, and it will be equivalent when you return back to the UK. Now, the 5 or 6 years, the way it's structured, the first 3 or 2 years usually are the preclinical years, where you get to understand the basic sciences, get to understand dental hygiene, and then you move into the final years of the course. So whether it's 6 or 5, you get to do a lot of hands-on experience where you get to interact with patients, treat patients. Now, of course, these degrees are all English taught, and they are recognized in many other countries as well. And so essentially for us as an organization, we do our due diligence very well. So I hope that you guys can stay tuned tonight, because we have exciting students here who are here to share their experience and knowledge. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Edmund. So we have the graduate entry route, where it's a very popular route that students always inquire about and they would love to know about, especially the students who hold a bachelor's degree. Edmund, do you want to tell us more about this?
Yes, absolutely. So the graduate entry, essentially, we have medicine and we have dentistry. Now, the pathway is a standalone program, which is medicine, 4 years, generally also taught in English, and then you graduate there as a doctor of medicine. So with this, with a Bachelor of Science degree, usually we have biomedical sciences, students with pharmaceutical sciences, medical sciences, nurses. Depending on the degree, we can, of course, take a look at what you've done and advise you on the best way possible. Now, the 4-year programs essentially entail the first 2 years being your pre-clinical years. And it's essentially the 6-year course compressed down to 4. So you're doing everything that someone would do in the 6 years, but down to 4. Now, of course, your degree is what's brought you here. Now, for graduate entry dentistry, this is slightly different, the pathway. This is more a transfer of credits. So what the university does is they take a look at what you studied before, and then they transfer the credits of what you've done from a bachelor's degree into the course. So you could essentially study from 5 years to 4 as a best case scenario. Depending on what you've covered, we can always look and assess your degree and advise you on the best way forward. Now, a question that I also get asked is, how much are the tuition fees? Now, Edmund, does that mean that if I go to a university that has higher tuition fees, is that the best? Another thing as well that I also get asked is, I'm not happy with the university I'm studying in. Can I transfer if I can? And the answer is yes. To tell you all about this, I'd like to invite my colleague, Tom, who will cover living costs, tuition fees, and then transfers. Tom?
Thanks, Edmund. Yeah, so university transfers, of course, sometimes People are in a situation where they've gone to a medical school and it's just not quite the right fit for them, for whichever reason, maybe to do with the teaching or to do with the location. It could be many different factors, and I'm sure there's quite a few of you listening this evening that are in a position where you're already a medical student. So first of all, congratulations, you've made the first step. That's fantastic. But maybe the place isn't quite right for you, and you're thinking, I need somewhere that's a bit more suitable for my needs and to meet my requirements. We understand that medical school is very taxing on people. It's a very big commitment, and wherever you are, you need to feel comfortable. This is why for students that come through with us initially, we take so much time and care to make sure we find the right options for them. But if you're in this position, don't worry, we're going to help you. We do have to look through your transcripts. We need to see which credits can be transferred. Quite often there's a long equivalating process of getting some modules confirmed for certain schools, but it is possible. Even if you have, say the course you're doing at the moment has a certain title for doctor, and then there's another title like an MBBS to an MD, then this is still something that a lot of universities can look at and consider. So don't be afraid to get in touch, and we can definitely have a look through some options for you. Moving on from there then, let's have a little look at this. So here we've got the tuition fees and the living costs. One thing you can see here is there is a huge difference between the fees and the living costs across the different countries that we work with. So whatever kind of budget you're looking at, as long as you can hit these kind of amounts that you see at the top there, we're going to be able to help you. Bear in mind that the courses are self-funded, but for some of the places like the Caribbean, there are also scholarships available. So you can inquire with us and we can see if you qualify for these. Now, many of these options, as you can see, like Georgia at the top there, have incredibly affordable tuition. And you might be a bit concerned, especially coming from somewhere like the USA, for example, where the tuition is much, much more expensive than any of these here. You might be concerned with the level of quality. And I want to tell you here today that the cost does not equate to the quality. As I mentioned before, these countries, their costs are based mainly on their level of their economy. So if you're going to somewhere that has a lower level of economy in general, that means you're going to be paying lower tuition costs. Does it mean that that teaching is going to be a lower quality from somewhere that's more expensive? Absolutely not. Many of these courses have the same recognition and they're going to get you to the same places that you're looking to get to as a doctor. And we will be happy to help you with that. So, Dana, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I mean, that's amazing, this chart. I mean, it shows us how many countries have very popular universities, top quality of education with very reasonable fees, because a lot of students come to us and they can't afford to pay 30,000, 40,000 a year. So they go to Europe and take advantage of the situation of paying less tuition fees and getting worldwide recognized degrees. So thanks a lot, Tom. And moving on from here, we would like to talk about the admission process and how it works. A lot of students want to understand how it is to apply in Europe and what are the requirements. So we will go over this and we will tell you what we do and how we help you as Medlink students. We have with us, usually in Medlink, we have a huge team of experts in our admission department, but today we have with us Victoria, who is a senior expert admission advisor, who will tell us more about this, the admission requirements and how we help. Victoria?
Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria, and as Dana said, I'm part of the admissions team of Medlink Students. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the requirements of the different universities. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm really thrilled to see that you're all here to and you're all ready to become part of the Medlink Students family and to embark on a thrilling journey towards your academic dreams. We're here to help you do just that. So let's start. So first of all, of course, one of the most important requirements is to have a high school diploma or the equivalent from your country's high school system. European universities, they are famous for their academic excellence, and as such, most of them will require you to have some basic sciences background, such as biology, chemistry, physics, maths. However, if you don't have that, rest assured, because there are enough universities out there that would still give you the chance, because they like to give equal opportunities to everyone. Of course, they want you to fully immerse yourself in the course, which means that for non-native English speakers, they might require you to have an English proficiency certificate. But for all of these things, you can contact our advisors, who will do their best to find the best university for you that would suit your needs and your educational background. Now, there are, of course, universities that have an entrance exam, and we are here to assist you every step of the way. We will provide you with provisional materials, guide you through the entrance exam steps. These entrance exams can include multiple choice questions, open questions. They can sometimes be a combination of both as well. And if that's not all, we're here to help you and assist you with translating, certifying, legalizing your documents, all of those things that sometimes can seem a bit daunting. But that's what we're here for, to be with you every step of the way, and to make your application and your admittance to the university as smooth as possible, and to make your file stand out in front of the university. If that's not all, actually, if the university has an interview, we will help you with preparing for that interview, with providing you with some questions that they might ask you, so you can wow the interviewers. We at Medlink Students maintain constant communication with the universities, the institutions involved in the whole admission process. This way, we can keep you updated on the progress of your application and ensure that you receive your acceptance letter for one of those medical universities. So let us help you take the first step towards an exciting future. Our expert advisors are always here to assist you with everything you need. Inquire now, and we are ready to help you get on the journey of the exciting and fulfilling path of medicine or dentistry in these lovely European universities.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for sharing with us. Our admissions team are always working hard to look at the best way possible to stay in, day out, making sure that you have the best application and the strongest application to submit. Now, let's go through and discuss why Europe is an excellent destination, really, for a lot of our students. Now, over the last decade, we've carefully selected over hundreds of medical schools in Europe. Now, of course, there is a variety for everybody, as Tom said. So we look at European universities that, of course, teach in English. And then we've looked at the top tier medical dental schools that have been chosen by a lot of the students, from the likes of Georgia. We've got Bulgaria, we've got Hungary, we've got Poland, we've got Serbia. Now, each of these countries offer unique advantages and a variety of educational experience. So, for example, Georgia, a beautiful country that at the crossroads of Eastern Europe and Western Asia, which basically boasts an array of medical and dental programs, and they deliver in English, of course. Now, the institutions there are known for academic excellence and really modern facilities. And then you've got the likes of Bulgaria, where you'll find internationally recognized medical and dental degrees. Now, Bulgarian universities provide students with a really strong foundation in their healthcare and practical experience and really a good clinical setting. And then you've got Serbia, a country with a rich cultural heritage, which basically offers outstanding medical and dental programs. The Serbian institution, they really emphasize on research, clinical exposure, which makes for an attractive destination for all of you aspiring medical professionals. Now, of course, Hungary has its long-standing medical excellence, and it's home to some of the oldest medical schools. Now, studying in Hungary really offers a lot of you the chance to immerse yourself in a vibrant academic environment, of course, while enjoying the rich cultural heritage that the country has to offer. Now you've got Romania, which is known for its beautiful landscapes. It has a growing reputation of medical and dental schools. Really, Romanian universities, they also provide a solid foundation for all the healthcare professionals with a lot of focuses on their practical skills. And of course, lastly, we've got Poland, a country that really combines rich history and modern facilities for medicine and dentistry. Now, their institutions also emphasize a lot on clinical and, of course, practical work. Now, we have really spent a decade carefully selected all of these universities. We have over 100 schools. And we understand that each different student that comes to us is unique. And our goal is to match you with the perfect university. Now, I know Europe is a fantastic place. We also deal with other universities, which we'll go through outside of Europe as well. And one of the universities that I'll really talk about in Georgia is Petroshchad, Tbilisi Medical Academy. Now, in short, TMA. This is a prestigious university for medicine. Now, we will go through, of course, a lot of aspects about what makes it an excellent choice for students wanting to go into medicine. They teach medicine there for 6 years, of course, taught in English throughout. You graduate there as a doctor of medicine. Now, the tuition fees there, of course, starts from around 6,500 euros. Living cost ranges really from 600 euros, which includes everything. Now, the university has 2 intakes a year. You could join in October, or you can also join in March. And usually the students that finish their high school, for example, our Australian students who are finishing their high school in December, the exams, can join the March intake. Now, of course, if you're still thinking about joining, of course, make sure you do, because it works on a first come, first served basis. Now, I'm not here to talk about all of the crazy and amazing things about the university that has to offer. We do have students here that are here to talk about their experiences. Now, the next student that I'm going to bring up here has quite a unique story, a unique journey also. Studied in Ukraine, and due to the unfortunate events, moved over to Georgia. Of course, it wasn't an easy step, but he's here to talk about his experience and how things have been from here, from studying at TMA. I have Abdul Rahman. Are you here?
Hello. Hi, Edmund.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Edmund?
Very well, very well. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. You've had quite the journey, and I think it's one that we're also still proud of your efforts so far, because you've had a difficult time studying Ukraine and had to transfer due to the unfortunate events. So as you're here now, tell us about your journey so far and how things have been at TMA.
So so far it was an amazing journey. So after the events of the Ukrainian war, we had to return back to our homes, in which we had to contact the agency in order to find another university, which happened to be TMA. Now, TMA was very quick in terms of getting me my interviews, in which I had that within a week. And fortunately, I was able to get a response. And I immediately transferred to the clinical years, because I have done the first 3 years in Ukraine. So currently I'm in the clinical years, and from comparing to the Ukraine, it's amazing. Like, I really, really enjoy it. And the doctors' English are very good. They're more, I would say that their technology-wise are very advanced. In comparing to Ukraine, I was in TMA, we were able to set our exams through computers. So immediately, by the time we leave the exam hall, we're able to get our exam results, which is amazing. So I'm very happy about that.
Fantastic. And have you been able to start your clinical rotations so far?
Yes. So I've just finished my cardiology, at the hospital. So fortunately, we had a conference room in the hospital, and in that conference room, we revise our preclinical, so the theoretical things, and then we apply it with our patients in the hospital. So we used to go see patients, perform ultrasounds, ECGs, and then just applying our knowledge. And then the most important thing was the diagnosis. So things that would prepare us for I would say, as a real life doctor in the future, hopefully.
Fantastic. And how, being in TMA now, how have you found kind of the support throughout your fourth year? Because you're now hands-on, you're in the hospital. So how do you find the support from the teachers in the hospital as well as the classroom setting?
That's a very good question. So majority of my times, very, very rarely I'm at the campus. However, the times that I am at the campus, we have the office in which is like a student's office. So we go speak to the dean, we ask them any sort of concerns or queries, and then they shed some lights. For example, if I was able to, for example, let's say I needed to find a doctor for my next rotations, I would like to prepare ahead for that. I would like the syllabus for it. They point us to the direction. They'll give us the doctor's email. We contact them. They're very helpful in the university. As for the hospital, in terms of the hands-on experience, for me is my favorite. From the classmates that I have that have been at that university from the first year, they have had practice on dummies in their first, second, and third years. So on our university, we have a whole floor on the ground floor. The whole of the ground floor is full of like clinical practice for the theoretical years. And whenever I needed to like refresh on how to suture, or if I needed to refresh on how to perform auscultations or emergency life supports, I'm able to go there and speak to the person, one of the doctors that are in charge of that place, and ask them if they can help me with that.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. As you're in year 4, have you had the chance to interact with patients and treat patients? Or have you had that experience yet?
Yes, immediately. In fact, from the first week that I've started from at the TMA, Tbilisi Medical Academy, it's amazing. One thing I do need to mention that was very interesting, that I really liked about this university, they are an American-based university. They've been established for quite a while. I believe over 30 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, Edmund. So yeah, I think it was
Yes,
over
you
30
are correct.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
They do offer those that are wanting to sit the USMLE. So they support in that. And so some doctors can concentrate on in terms of how to help people with step 1 for exam, or what sort of resources do you use, and then they bring that forward for you. So that's been amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, of course, big question that some of our students tend to ask, of course, the ones with the faith, for Muslim, they want to know, what is it like for a young Muslim boy to be there? And also as a Muslim, how have you found that environment?
Yes, so as a Muslim individual, we have 2 very big mosques that we can attend, well, technically 3. We've got 3 big mosques that we can attend, scattered all over the city. Let's say I'm in hospital in the south side of the city. I'm able to attend that mosque for Friday prayers. So, and also there's one that's close to a different campus that we needed to go to, and it's available for all students. But in terms of, I could, as behalf of a Muslim guy, I'd be more than happy to tell you that for me, I have not experienced any racial sort of issues here in Georgia. So I could say that with confidence.
Thank you. Because it's a big topic we get to ask, of course, some of the girls who are Muslim as well, who wear the hijab, some girls who don't, they get very concerned about going abroad because they don't want to feel out of place when they go.
Yeah.
How is the multiculturalism in Georgia for you?
I could add to your point, actually. Add to my point, Edmund. So there's a lot of hijabi ladies, students here in Georgia. So for them, I see them everywhere and about. So it seems like it's okay for them. In terms of the multicultural, I've seen plenty of people all over the world, from Australia up to Canada, to Brazil. Someone in my class is from Brazil. We have a lot of Indian students, Pakistani students, and like myself, from a UK student.
Fantastic! It sounds like you're kind of immersed yourself in a world of different cultures.
You have to, as a medical student, you have to, Edmund.
That's amazing. For you as a British student and going to Georgia, how have you found the culture? Was it kind of a big culture shock, or how did you manage to transition quite well?
I would say from Ukraine, it was I managed to pick up a bit of the local language. So learning it was majority of the time I learned it from the streets or from the bakeries, or from the locals. So I generally picked up a language from the Ukraine, and I applied that here in Georgia. So a lot of the youngsters here in in Georgia, they do speak English. Quite a lot of them, I believe that in their curriculum, the Georgian curriculum, they do speak. They need to speak English. So it wasn't that difficult for me. So I'm happy with that.
Fantastic. And finally, Abdul, what sort of challenge did you face in Georgia when you got there? What did you do to kind of overcome that challenge?
That's a
because
good
it
question.
can't just be
No,
just be all roses. It can't just be all great.
No.
I'm sure you will have faced some challenges yourself.
Yeah, so if it's to do with the sort of education, normally we have either a group leader. So a group leader that we could call them or message them at any time. If it's to do with the office, we could speak to the dean directly or their associates directly. So if it's something to do with the education issues, then you could speak to them without hesitation, and they will get back to you as soon as possible. In terms of something around the cities, that's when either the locals or the like, let's say I get stuck, I call you Edmund, I'll be like, Edmund, who can I go to about this issue? And also, this is a very good thing. In terms of the landlords here are quite friendly. From my experience, they're quite friendly here. So I've had an issue where I needed to find an iron to iron my shirt. So they pointed my direction, or they asked me. I needed to go pay for bills, and they're situated all over the city, where you can pay your bills either online or in these cash machines. So there is about reaching out to people rather than be quiet. If you do be quiet, then you can't really solve the issue.
Fantastic. And did Medlink support you when you first arrived in Georgia, in terms of getting the arrival and then
yes? So what we needed to do, so as soon as I send my flight number, I send so what happened with my flight is when I went, it was a funny story because my second flight got delayed for some reason. But because they've tracked the flight, there was a car, one of the Medlinks, they were there ready to pick me up. So I was okay for that.
That's very good. Thank you. And it's of course normal for things like this to happen, and it shows that our team were also monitoring the flight situation as well. So it's good to hear that you have that support, and knowing that even if your flight was delayed and you arrived, you would still have that support the last question we have for you, there's a lot of students watching this. You've had a journey, which, of course, it got interrupted, and then you still managed to continue. So there is the need for you to become a doctor is still there, and we appreciate the fact that you're still carrying on with the dream. What advice do you have for those students that are watching? Some of them are probably thinking, oh, I'll just take a gap year or another gap year, or I'm not sure if I want to go abroad. What advice do you have for those?
Okay, I'll give you a little background. So I initially wanted to study medicine from the time that I entered college, so college time, so high school, just after high school. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into the UK for my circumstances. Now, with that, I was still determined whether or not to go. I was contemplating whether or not to take a gap year. But why would I waste a whole year when I could be a whole year closer to becoming a doctor? Then waste. To me, I wouldn't be able to use that as a constructive year. So I strongly believe that if you're considering to take a gap year, why don't you just maybe have a flight to Georgia, see the university yourself. If you like it, then just go for it. I would say that it's the only thing that's stopping you is yourself. So if you want to become a doctor, then go for it. But you have to love this. You have to love medicine to do it.
Fantastic. You're very, very much right on this, and it's the passion, and of course that's the reason why you've continued your journey.
Of course.
And we really can't wait to see, what type of doctor you'll become. We can't wait to see that journey unfold. But thank you. I know you'll be staying over for some Q&A as well, but thank you so much for sharing your journey with us and your story. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much, Edmund.
All right. So now let's go to the next university in Georgia, which is European University in Tbilisi. Now, European EUT, known for its really excellence in medical and dental education. Medicine is 6 years of there. You graduate there as a doctor of medicine. And of course, for dentistry, it's 5 years, where you graduate as a doctor of medicine in dentistry. Tuition fees do generally start from around 5,000 euros per year. They also have 2 intakes per year. Now, something unique that we've done with the university is they have actually created a new intake, which is just something that we discussed with them in terms of students who didn't want to wait till March, but wanted to start earlier than that. So they created this for us. And of course, it is on a very, very much first come, first served basis where you could start in January. Now, of course, we are nearly closing the applications for that. But of course, there is the March intake as well as the October intake, which we've already started. If you are looking for March, you're nearly going to be missing out if you don't start. October is open if you want to get started. And for the students that are taking, that you've already received your predicted grade, you can also get started as well. Now, we do have one of the representatives of the university to come in and talk about essentially the university, a bit more about their history, and really why the university is one of the excellent ones in Georgia. So we have Tinitin. Tinitin, are you there?
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Edmund. So good evening, everyone. I am Latina Tingognadze. I represent European University. I am the head of the medical doctor program. So European University, as you see from the slides, this is the private university in Georgia. We are providing the medical doctor program since 2014. We are a young university, but very the good life of the students is just providing every day. So this is very fast-growing university, private university in Georgia. We are having 3 different campuses, which is the main campus. It's located in the picture which you see here, where mainly administration is sitting. We have 2 additional campus for the medical faculty, which is providing 2 different programs. This is the medical doctor program, and this is a dentistry program. As Edmund already mentioned, we have a medical doctor program and a dentistry program, which is in English. So a lot of the students here, this is our new campuses, which is the library. The main location of our medical program is located in Sarajishvili campus, which is 6th-floor big campus, and there is all the modern technologies which student needs to learn the medicine. And also the dentistry program is located here. This is the laboratories, which is also this is a histology and pathology laboratory. This is a physiology and biochemistry. So here the students are doing during the study process the mandatory lab works, which is mainly useful and then of course needs the future doctors to see and to learn during the study process. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, this is our campus. This is the equipped room. So we are having more than 50 such kind of rooms, which is fully equipped by the IT technologies, which is a computer-based exams, which is a computer-based also the IT technologies. And also we are having the modern equipped rooms, which is just totally, please, next slide, please, Edmund. This is for the dentistry, so little bit I will stop here and then I will provide information about the program. So we are having a two main program in the Faculty of Medicine. This is a medical doctor program and dental program. Medical doctor program, as we already mentioned, this is duration of the program is 6 years. So this is a 12 semester, but the dental program, this is a 5 year, which is a 10 semester. So we are having our simulation center, which is one of the big benefit of our programs. This is a campus of Sarajishvili and main campus where we have a simulation room. So the patient from the beginning, students from the beginning, from the first 2 years, they have opportunity, every student, to touch such kind of phantoms and mannequins and do all the manipulation with that. So next slide, please. This is the simulation center of the dormitories. Okay, the dormitory is we are the first private university in Georgia which is having their own dormitories. This is dormitory for 120 students. The dormitories are fully equipped with the modern technologies and then which all the equipment which the student needs during the living process here. Next slide, please. Which is located, this is also main part, but the dormitory is located near to our campus. This is the anatomy lab, which is a medicine we are providing and studying teaching to the student by innovative technologies. This is one of them, which is anatomy table, and I want very proudly to tell that we are the first university, not in Georgia, in Europe, who has the latest version of this anatomy lab. We just bought this during the last week. We bought this from the America, from United States. So we have these two machines, so two anatomy table, which is located in each campus, in Joint Hospital campus and in our main Sarajishvili campus. So what is this? This is helping for the students to teach and learn more deeply the anatomy, so they can just learn each system is located where is located the blood, the different systems of the anatomy, and also by histology. Wait, please, next slide. Thank you. This is also our second innovative technology, which is the 3D glasses, and then where the student also, which is helping also students to learn more deeply anatomy, histology, physiology, imaging, and all the basic subjects. This is one room which is only for the anatomy and histology teaching. Next room, please. Slide. This is a physiology and pathanatomy lab. This is a physiology, you see there, we have such kind of experience are doing here. For example, the students can cut the frog, see how the muscles are acting, see how the heart is pumping, and so on. Here we have a different pathanatomy lab where students are doing themselves the samples from the from different tissues and from different cells. So this is our everyday activity, practical activity, where our students involving. Please, next slide. This is University Dental Clinic, and then second of the benefit of our programs are that we are having our own clinics. So the student who wants future to enter in our dental, to choose our dental medicine, right, and program, they have opportunity to work in our own dental clinic, which is located near to our campus in the first floor. This is opportunity. The student has opportunity here to take a real patient, to touch a real patient, and which is very important, mostly for the student who are going back after graduation or going back to their country, because the contact hours, which all the even GMC requirements are giving us and asking us how many hours and contact hours do you have with a patient, so student can have and can catch these contact hours here in our own clinic. Next, please. This is our University Medical Hospital, which several times I already talked today. This is the Joan Hospital, University Hospital, which means that we are having our own hospital for the medical students. And our medical student has opportunity from the first semester to involve in the clinical environment. They have a chance to work here as a practitioner doctors, work here as an assistant, so they have all the opportunity to work not only for the one direction. The joint clinic has different departments. Mainly they are for the cardiology direction and field, but they have a different departments, and student can just operate and have assist with the real how can I say, VIP doctors in Georgia, and see all the opportunities, whatever they can do here in the joint clinic. Next slide, please. This is University Hospital, also how it looks like, because the University Hospital is very big hospital, which is just they are taking in a year they are taking more than the 2,000, 3,000 patients. So that's why that our student has opportunity to be in this environment every day. So here, this is the University Hospital, and next door to the University Hospital, we have new campus of medical faculty, which is also equipped all the simulation centers for the laboratories, by the classrooms, which is really equipped by the modern technologies. Next, please. This is extracurricular activities, of course, and before I just go to the extracurricular activities, I want really briefly talk about the programs. So the medical program and dentistry program, first of all, is recognized by WFME standard. These are the highest institution which gives us the European standard. So after the student graduate our medical and dentistry program, they have their diploma is recognized in many countries of Europe. They can just take and go to USMLE in United States, and main goal of yours, as I know, is the GMC, and go to the UK and get the PLAB exams, right? So all the requirement, whatever GMC has, we are meeting their requirement, even medical program and also the dental program. Now, what about the extracurricular activities of the programs and our students, right? So our student can have, of course, we are having the exchange programs, and then now our exchange students are going to the Spain, San Diego University as a medical, it will be the simulation center. Also, we are having our students standing by Erasmus Plus programs, because we are involving in this program very frequently. They are going to the Masaryk University in Czech Republic. Also, they are going to the France, to German. So we are having very good collaborations and cooperations with the different foreign institutions and also the clinics. So extracurricularly, of course, after study, our student can also involve in the different sport teams. We have a choir team, we have a dancing team, we have also the cheese team, as you see here. And then, of course, this is not only for the Georgian student, this is also for the foreign international students. And our international students, last time we had a multicultural days. And of course, all of the universities, the foreign international student has opportunity to show their traditional dances, their traditional songs, and so on. Here I have to mention that European University has more than 70 countries, from 70 countries, the students. Mainly, of course, they are the Arabian countries and Indian countries, but all of the world, we just got many students from UK, we got United States, Spain, German, from the France, and so on. So that's why all the cultural students, we are having many in university. Next, please. Now, why we have to study European University and why you have to choose European University? Very briefly, so the first big benefit of the university is that our program is accredited by WFME standard. That means that after graduation, your diploma is recognized everywhere in the European countries. Second, we are having the qualified academic and invited staffs. These are the doctors which are the head in their field, in cardiology, in surgery, and in many different directions. So you will have opportunity to study with them, to be as an assistant with them and work with them in a clinic. Our student has big benefit from the first semester to be involved in the clinical environment. That means that we are having our simulation centers, we are having in medicine and in a dentistry program. So before they go to the clinic, they have opportunity to touch the mannequins and individually do and learn and practice how to do each manipulation, which is starting from injections, for example, and then hard manipulation, which is intubation. Then after they will teach and study this with the mannequin, then they go to the real patient. And our program is very hardly bedside teaching. We have very modern technologies, we have very modern study methodologies, and also the assessment method is very easy for us to analyze and to evaluate the skills and knowledge of the student. So European University also has many exchange programs, as I already mentioned, and also we are having USMLE preparation courses right now, and then many students are interested for this, so university is supporting for all the students who need such kind of support to sit here in different courses. Also, we are having, sorry. Can you go next, please? Next slide is.
Jonathan, I think that
That's all. Okay,
yes,
thank you so
that
much.
is-
So if anyone has a question,
think-
so feel free to ask me. I'm here.
I think you'll be here all day if you have to talk about it. I'm so much in awe, and we see the passion as well that you have
Thank you.
for the school, and one of the reasons we of course collaborated with you guys. So we're very excited, of course, for the new year and also the opportunities that you guys have given the students, and so we look forward to a better 2024 also with our students and more students as well to come. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, the next option we're going to talk about, of course, this is, I'll let Dana come in and introduce the other schools that we're going to be talking about. Thank you, Dana.
Well, thanks, Edmund, and thanks to Abdullah and Tinatin for going over these amazing points over the two top universities. The next exciting university we have is Richmond Gabriel University, located in one of the most beautiful islands, St. Vincent. I'm not going to spoil it a lot. I'm going to introduce Tom again to tell you more about it. And of course, we have students to tell you more about their experience there. Tom?
Yes, what a school. What an amazing experience this is going to be for students. And we're so lucky today that we get to speak to not only a student who is currently at the university, but we also get to speak to a graduate doctor who has gone through and achieved one of the greatest feats, which is to earn an internationally recognized medical degree. And he's now proceeding into his career. And we're going to hear about some of that shortly. But let's talk about the school. Richmond Gabriel University, located as my colleague Dana said there, on the beautiful island of St. Vincent in the Caribbean. They offer English courses in medicine and pre-med. There is no entrance exam. Tuition fees. This is including scholarship. So this is exclusive fees through Medlink Students. And we'll explain that in a bit more detail. If this is a school that qualifies for you when we have an appointment, we'll explain kind of how the scholarship works and if it's something you qualify for. But just for the purpose of today's presentation, this is the price, including the scholarship that you would be able to get through ourselves. As you can see, it's around 9,000 euros per year. And then the cost of living around 900 euros per month. So again, fairly affordable. There are no dormitories available, so we do help you to organize apartments. And the next intake available is actually in January, and this is very, very late. We've been able to secure sort of a last minute admission still. After that, the next intake after that will be May. And then, of course, for all of you thinking about finishing your degree or finishing your A-levels, there is also an intake in September for you to get started then. So without further ado, I want to invite our guest speaker who's been through the whole process and come out the other end with fantastic success. Dr. Kevwe, are you with us?
Tom, I think he's still joining us in a minute. We've got Pauline who's here with us.
Great, thank you. Okay, Pauline, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Fantastic. Hi, Pauline. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. So can you tell us a bit about, first of all, can you tell us about your situation? Well, how are you studying at the moment? Whereabouts are you on the course?
All right. I'm a transfer student from Turkey. I joined Richmond Gabriel. I'm in MD1. And the experience has been really good for me here. Yeah, currently everything is going good.
Okay, for those of us who aren't used to the Caribbean system, can you explain MD1?
This is a class immediately after you've done your pre-med education, where you prepare yourself to engage into the medical stuff really more deeper. You have to learn about the anatomy, the embryology, and get to understand the physique of the human body and how it works before you get deeper into medication and the likes of what you're supposed to be when you become a doctor. So yes.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, everyone knows Richmond is regarded as a very reputable but a very tough course, very intense, got good recognition. How are you managing to keep up with the intensity of the course?
Well, let me say passion, because if you don't come into medicine with great zeal and passion to do medicine, you might give up in the middle of the road. But with passion and zeal, you get to go through everything and understand that it will pay off at one point in life. So right now, having like the school staff, the teaching staff is very supportive. That is a very big help for us, because in a time when you feel that things are going wrong, they're there to hold you up and help you. So it becomes easier when you're doing a tough situation or course every time. Yeah.
That's so important to have a supportive staff around you when you're doing such a difficult degree and you're putting in so much dedication and passion yourself. You need to have that same level coming from the teachers. And you feel like you get that at Richmond, Gabriel?
Oh, yes. Compared to the school that I was previously, Richmond Gabriel has a very big support when it comes to teaching. And the teachers are very knowledgeable. They are very patient with the students, and they aim to enabling us to understand better of what you are learning about. It's not about getting everything done just to be on the right time, but more about helping every student understand what the course entails. And this is very good. I find it very helpful because when it comes to your personal studies, it's much easier. You remember what the teachers taught. More so, if you have a question, they are free. It's very easy to get to the lecturer, ask a question about whatever you feel is missing in your understanding, and they are always there for us. So yes, they are very big help.
Great, fantastic. And obviously the teaching is one part, so it's good to know that they're very supportive and they're teaching you the right way. But the other part is, of course, the facilities. What are the facilities like on campus?
The facilities around the campus, we have the anatomy labs. We also have the physiology labs. And in these labs, you get to dive into anatomy, like the teacher will have, like what you can see on the screen now. This was a class that was happening for a class here in campus. You get to learn more in the labs. And like the other day, we had the workshop for suturing, so it was quite easy doing everything practically in the labs that are available in the school compound. Yes.
Good, good. Obviously, that's another really important factor. And can you tell us a bit more about the lifestyle? Well, what's life like there?
Well, if you are a person who loves nature, quiet, and explorer, then St. Vincent is your place. The island is very beautiful with very good beaches, very good waterfalls, and you get to interact with its people, and who are very welcoming, by the way, and you get to enjoy what nature has to give. So this place is very good. Actually, when you're studying for your exams, it gives you a very conducive environment. So you don't have to worry about a lot of chaos, maybe that comes with the city or issues around, but everything is just cool, if I may say. Everything is just cool. Yeah.
It's a nice way of putting it. And what about the kind of social life? Is it easy to make friends with the other students, to go out and have activities and enjoy yourself?
Oh, yes. Everybody here, I would say they are friendly. You would mistake it for being awkward, but it's really good in a very positive way. You have to get to make friends. And with these friends, you have to explore areas around the island. So it's very easy, actually, compared to like what you would expect going into a new environment where nobody knows you, or you know the environment as well. So yeah, it's quite easy.
Good. It's good to have a good community. And do you feel safe there on the island?
Yes, it's very safe. It's very safe. I've not had any incidences of crime, so it is very safe.
Good, because I think that's something a lot of people worry about. They think, can I walk around on the streets on my own? Are people going to react okay to me? Are the locals going to be friendly and treat me nicely? That sort of thing. And you said from your experience, it's all been positive.
Yes, it is all positive. The locals are very good. They will help you out if you ask a question, or maybe because you, of course, want to know your way around the island. They are very open to help. Well, and yeah, I believe it also depends on how you come up to the locals. But generally, they are very friendly. And it's safe, yes. Of course, you need to be careful at the time that you're outside your house or the campus, maybe in odd hours. Generally, the general safety measures, but so far, so good.
That's fantastic. It's really important that you can feel comfortable there. And is there anything else you'd say has kind of really stood out to you? What would you say is the main thing that's surprised you about St. Vincent? What's the main thing that you think, wow, this is, really amazing?
Honestly, it's the school itself. At first, I had my own doubts about the school, having to transfer from Turkey to here. And I thought whichever was in Turkey is what I would receive here, but I didn't find that here because the teachers are really nice. I get to sit in class, and when I get home, I feel like I have been through a learning session, not like before. So that has really stood out for me, and I really appreciate that. And of course, I'm a nature junkie, so this is my island, if I may say now.
It's great that you feel so at home so quickly. But yeah, that's really nice that you can enjoy the nature, but you can also feel supported. And we're just really glad here at Medlink that you're having such a good transition. Coming from Turkey where you weren't having such a good experience, as we mentioned before, transferring it can be a tough thing, but it's good that you've made it, you've adapted completely on the other side of the world, and you seem really happy about it.
I really am.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you've inspired a lot of other students to take that leap. And that's fantastic. We hope that we can hear from you again throughout your journey. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now I think, so Pauline, fantastic hearing from you there about current experience. I believe we now have with us Dr. Kevwe, who's going to tell us a bit about his experience at the university, as well as what he's up to now as a qualified doctor. Are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm fine.
Fantastic. So, can you tell us a little brief history of your journey as well as what you're doing now?
Okay, so I was a student of Richmond Gabriel University. I got in through, I heard about it through word of mouth, a friend of mine who was there at the time. And she just told me I needed to come over there. And I was looking for universities, medical schools to go to at the time. I was checking for universities in all over Europe, and I had never really heard about like the universities, medical school in the Caribbean before. So it was kind of like a novel thing, and I decided to just, take a leap of faith. And here I am a couple of years later, now a qualified medical doctor practicing in the United Kingdom.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a bit about the university experience for you? Was it very challenging?
So medical school anywhere you go to is going to be challenging. That's just the nature of the job, of the study. But I found that I had lots of resources and lots of access to support whenever I needed at Richmond Gabriel. And in my own way, I gave back by being a tutor to the university students. So there was a lot of that support, and that if you were struggling, and because of how small our class sizes were, it seemed like we were on a personal basis with the professors and our lecturers. So if you were struggling with something, you could simply just walk into the office. The person you're talking to knows who you are, and you can just explain why you were struggling and how they could best support you. So that was my experience, that even though it was challenging, at every point in time where there was a challenge, I had someone to support me through it.
Fantastic. It's so important to have that level of support. And then can you tell us a bit about the clinical experiences that you had as well?
Yeah, so the clinical experiences I had were very hands-on. So I remember our preceptors, the medical doctors, they always used to tell us that if we wanted to learn clinical medicine and if we wanted to show initiative, we were in the best possible place to do it. Okay, because they really let you get hands-on. They really let you do things that maybe you might not be allowed to do elsewhere, but under supervision, of course. And it's a place where there was a lot of emphasis on teaching when I was doing some of my clinical rotations. And also there's a lot of variety. I still speak to students who are there today and doing their clinical rotations in different parts of the world, in Jamaica, St. Vincent. And the feedback I've gotten was positive, and it correlates with the feedback that I have to give as well. But that's one thing I can say about the rotation, the clinical rotations. It was very hands-on, and you could do as much as you wanted to do within reason, of course. I mean, they won't let you be a cowboy, but you could do much more than, let's say, other places. So yes, it's a very good place if you want to actually learn the practice of medicine.
And how did that? So you're registered now with the General Medical Council, the GMC in the UK, right?
Yes, I am.
So how well did you feel the course through Richmond, Gabriel, the preclinical and the clinical, how well did that prepare you to register successfully with the GMC?
So the preclinical was very solid for me, okay? And it really helped me. I had to take exams like PLAB 1, PLAB 2, and it was like a walk in the park for me because of the emphasis on our preclinical sciences, where we have to study really hard for our MBMEs and make sure we gather enough knowledge. So I found that preclinical helped me a lot in that sense, where you're not struggling for medical knowledge. You may be lacking experience, but the knowledge is there. So, for example, if even if you don't know something, or even if you're like, for example, yesterday I was on the 9th shift. I'm working nights this week. I have a shift in a couple of hours, and I just found that when I'm speaking to more senior consultants, there are certain things that they tell me that I probably didn't think about, but the knowledge base was there. It's just that I haven't put 2 and 2 together yet. But when they teach me something, I'm not lost. I'm just like, okay, with experience, I can use the knowledge base I already have and just build things up brick by brick. So yeah, I would say it was a plus in that regard for me.
Great, because I've heard people come from other places before and they've said that transitioning into the UK system has been really difficult. But for you, because it's such an intense course, because you cover so many aspects, I guess it's a hard degree for an easier career, I guess, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Great, fantastic. And what was it like doing the test coming back to the UK and getting the degree recognized? Was it all quite a smooth process for you?
Yeah, it was a very smooth process for me. I feel like the test is, as long as you know what you're being tested on, you know what they're asking you to do, it's going to be a breeze. I mean, I have a couple of people I know who wrote the test as well. We all passed. And and the process of getting my degree recognized, it was straightforward and much easier for me because I'm part of the United Kingdom Foundation Office program. And I didn't have to take any of the English language exams or the IELTS. I mean, I have people who are British who studied in other European countries or other places, and they said they had to take like language exams, even though they were born and raised in England. But I didn't have to do any of that. I just had to send a couple of emails. They did the background checks, and they said, okay, your degree is recognized, and sent me a provisional license, and that was it.
That is a big benefit. Firstly, to going to a university with a lot of experience and a track record with the GMC, but also going to a Caribbean school where they don't make you do a language test. It's not a huge obstacle, obviously, for English speakers, but it's another thing you have to consider a very intense time in the beginnings of your career. So yeah, we're just so happy to see that you've gone through and you've had this amazing success. How are you finding the work now?
I would say nights are not my favorite kinds of shifts to work, but but yeah, it comes with the territory. I knew what I was signing up for. I mean, otherwise it's been great. It's been an amazing career so far.
Oh, fantastic. And just to wrap things up then, what advice would you give for someone sat here now watching thinking, oh, I might consider this university, I might go for it. What would be the number one piece of advice you would give?
I would say just do what I did a couple of years ago. Just go for it. Okay. I was at the point where it was kind of like a blind leap of faith. I didn't really know much about St. Vincent. I didn't know much about living in the Caribbean. I didn't know much about like medical schools in the Caribbean. But I told myself, okay, like in 5 years' time, if I don't go for this thing, you know, how am I going to feel about myself in 5 years' time? So I just told myself, just go for it, and you will meet obstacles along the way, and you will be able to conquer them. That's just all I have to say. Just go for it.
Fantastic. Dr. Giveaway, once again, thank you so much for joining us. You've given so much insight and value over the past few months, this webinar included, for so many prospective students. You've helped so many people, and we just can't wait to hear more and more about your success in the NHS in the UK.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we've heard about Richmond Gabriel. If any of you guys have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. We are going through the whole thing. Feel free to book in an appointment with us as well if you want to discuss this fantastic opportunity that we have. We're so excited to be able to offer such an amazing location and such an incredible and supportive school for all of our students that are interested in going for that. Okay, so moving back into Europe now, we want to talk about a very prestigious school in Europe called Riga Stradins University. Now, Riga Stradins University is a very well-established school in Latvia. They offer medicine, dentistry, and a pre-med course. They do not require an entrance exam. You can see here tuition fees are around 12,500 euros for the MD program, 14 to 15,000 for the DMD, the Doctor of Medicine in Dentistry. Cost of living around 800 euros a month on average. They do have dormitory options, and their next available intake is next February. Now, again, like Richmond before, they do also have an intake for the September-October time for those of you completing your A-levels at the moment. This is an incredibly popular and very supportive school in Europe, definitely one for you to be researching and considering. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I've got an expert representative from the school, Agnesi, who's going to talk a little bit more about the school. Agnesi, over to you.
Hello, good evening, everyone, dear colleagues at Medlink, dear participants, potential medicine and dentistry students and parents. My name is Agnese, and I'm an international admissions officer from Riga Students University in Latvia. Thank you, Tom, for the introduction, and I will also continue briefly to explain some things about our university. So yes, indeed, we offer medicine and dentistry programs. We have two intakes, one in February and one in September, and indeed the February intake is more popular with the applicants that are taking their A-levels. Let's say for those who are taking their A-levels this summer, for them, of course, they can apply for the next February due to the requirements of our university. Can we please move on to the next slide? Right, so firstly, for those of you who might not know, Latvia is located in Northern Europe. Latvia is one of the Baltic states. We are not far from Scandinavia geographically. And Riga Students University has been educating international students for already 30 plus years. We have already 2,000 plus international graduates who are practicing doctors in medicine and dentistry worldwide. Because our diploma is indeed recognized worldwide. We have a very diverse and very multicultural environment at RSU. Our international community keeps growing with each and every intake. As of now, we have over 75 countries represented in our student body. And you could say that almost each third of all students is an international student. So we are happy to have such a diverse community here at RSU. And now to move on to talk a bit about the programs. So when it comes to the study program dentistry, The advantage to studying dentistry at RSU is due to the fact that most of the study process is practical. So during your first year, you will have a bit more of theory. Of course, you will have to do some labs, just like the medical students, but most of it will be, you know, you could say dense theory-wise. But already in the second year, you as a dentistry student, you enter the pre-clinic. The pre-clinic is located on the main RSU campus. And we have very high-tech facilities, study base for our students. So the pre-clinic is equipped with workstations for our students, with phantom heads, with 3D technology, where students can hone their practical skills. As a dentistry student, when you come to the pre-clinic to your practical class, you have your own workstation. You do not have to worry about getting some kind of equipment or special things that you would need to use for your class, because all of that is already included in the tuition fee. So no need to worry about that. Moving on, of course, after the pre-clinic, already in your third year as a dentistry student, you will move on to the clinical practice. Also, I must mention that after finishing your second year at RSU as a dentistry student, you will have a white coat ceremony. So this is a tradition that we have at our university to kind of, it serves as a kind of a rite of passage, you know, when you leave the preclinical base and enter the clinic, and you begin treating patients already in the third year. So again, a big advantage is this early patient contact. And in the third year, when you will be treating your patients, you do not have to find the patients on your own. The Institute of Dentistry is located right next to the main campus of RSU. And, just our locals here in Riga who wish to be treated by a student, they call the institute and they say that they wish to be treated by a student. So the students, they have, lists of their patients that have different problems. And let's say you have a certain practical class and you need a patient with a certain problem, let's say, and your friend has a patient with that problem, and they are saying, oh, well, your patient has cavities. I need to work on that for my class. So let's just switch. So this is, very kind of dynamic process and, very hands-on process. And in dentistry, it's usually, working in pairs. One is the doctor, the other one is the dental assistant. And as you are treating the patient, you are supervised by our professors who are also practicing professionals. So this then moves on to, of course, taking internship later on in your study process. And the program is 5 years. And that's just a bit shortly about the dental program. And now moving on to our program in medicine. The program is, of course, 6 years long. The way we structure the program is, starting off with a bit more theory, labs, human anatomy, a few subjects in humanities such as Latin language, Latvian language, because the students will need to know how to have a basic conversation with their patients, and then moving on to preclinical subjects, learning how to set diagnosis for patients. And then what's very important is that at RSU, we implement simulation-based medical education, which means that our students are able to practice their skills in a safe environment where they are allowed to make mistakes. So we have the Medical Education and Technology Center, which is just about 15 minutes away from our main campus, where we have a lot of diverse simulation technologies where our students hone their practical skills, first individually, afterwards in team scenarios. For one example that I can tell you about is that we have the simulation hospital, which means that you are in your study group, and the student has their own special role in this scenario. One is registering the patient, the other one is the doctor, then we have nurses. And then as you are, treating this patient, going through the whole process of, giving the diagnosis, treating them, giving them medicine, and so on, you have this, mannequin. Of course, you call it patient because you treat them as they're real, and they react. And you you get to, really go through all of this practice in a very safe environment, and you can make mistakes because you are learning, and it makes you feel much more confident before going into the hospital, right? And you are, of course, supervised this whole time. I've seen it with my own eyes at the METC, how all of that was happening from afar. It was very, very interesting to see, and all the students, they had headphones on, and the teachers and professors, they were looking at the cameras and listening to what they were saying to their colleagues, because they were really reenacting this scenario, treating a patient. But besides, using mannequins, we also use patient actors in our study process. And sometimes you have people who are acting like they're patients, and they might not, always be happy with what the student is trying to do to them. So you act as if like, oh, I'm not taking the medicine. Oh, I don't want to do this, or things like that. They're saying this because, again, they are preparing you. Why? Because, at a hospital, when you are treating a patient, you do not know what kind of person you will have to treat, what will be their attitude, what will be their kind of emotional condition in that moment. So again, during the study process, you get to go through these situations, these practical scenarios where you again are prepared, to in the future potentially going through a different kind of patients, and how to treat them and what their reactions might be. So it's definitely very good. And of course, in the last year of the medical program, you have to do the clinical rotations. You can call them internships. And these are done in 3 fields. So one is internal medicine, the second is surgery, and the third is of your choice. And just recently, I spoke with one of our graduates who was telling me that she did all of her clinical rotations actually in Latvia, and she was very happy about that. I am sure that many of the students might wish to do their clinical rotation, let's say in UK, and that's absolutely possible. You can do that as long as it's a teaching hospital. And we have a coordinator here at RSU who assists you with finding your clinical placements, either in UK or in another country, or here in Riga, because we also have excellent hospitals here. We have excellent supervisors who can guide you through this process. And our graduate, she was also telling me that for her, it was a very good experience. Sometimes, let's say there was, she was, working, of course, alongside doctors, but also residents. And let's say some resident could not be there for a surgery. So she said, you know what, I had to step in. So I was actually there assisting a surgery, and that was, such a good experience for her. And she was very happy with that. And yes, our graduates, there are graduates who do work, who do practice now in UK in different kind of fields. So again, it's definitely possible to come back to UK to do that. Yeah, I've already mentioned the clinical simulation technologies that we have at the METC. And by the way, we are always trying to progress and develop our technologies that we offer in the study processes. For example, we now have the immersive environment where you can set up a different scenario, and then the student has to, kind of figure out how to deal with the situation. We also, in December, we will open our emergency room simulation. So again, that's a different kind of a possibility that our students can have in the study process that they can experience. And then
fantastic.
Yeah, please go on, Tom.
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for giving us such an incredible insight. I wanted to ask a quick question.
Yeah,
we
sure.
have loads and loads of interest in your university, and I want to know what advice would you give for a student who wants to join your school, and not only join, but they want to make sure they have the best possible start in medical school? What would your advice be?
Okay, so let me maybe begin with choosing what kind of subject to take exams in, because our requirement is biology and or chemistry and mathematics. And if you don't have maths, then we accept physics. And I am saying this because I am aware that in the UK, biology and chemistry might be mandatory subjects, and that the third is, up to your choice. And there are some, potential students who are very interested in RSU, but they say, oh, but I have literature, oh, but I have, psychology. And then it's unfortunately you are not eligible. So, it comes to that kind of point, thinking what are the requirements of the university and what subjects I might need, because as was mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we do not have entrance exams. So we do need grades in these subjects. But if you do get an offer at RSU, in order to have a good start in your medical studies is, of course, to use the possibilities that we offer you as a university. For example, we have the mentor program, which means that you can apply for a mentor who is a student from higher semesters. Actually, that's a mentor pair. So you have one local student and one international student working together, who are there as your support person, who can assist you with different kind of questions, whether it be about academic aspects or whether it be about practical aspects, just to help you prepare to move to Riga and to begin this new phase in your life. And then the next thing I would say is, of course, be very careful how you manage your time and focus on your studies. But besides that, remember that in order to stay motivated in your medical studies, you have to also do something else in order to be kind of in the academic mindset and to be able to do all the things that you have to do to graduate. As you are focusing on this goal, don't forget to also take care of yourself, to socialize with your fellow students, to take any opportunity you can to join different kind of social events, getting in touch with other students, joining different societies, because I mean the social life that we offer at RSU is very colorful, I would say. There's many things to do besides studying, and even some of those activities that we do offer are also academically inclined, if that's something that you are interested in. And here I guess I can talk a bit about the societies that we offer here at RSU. So we have the national society. So these are groups that are joined by students that are from one nationality. What I must say is that, just let's say we have a Portuguese society. You don't have to be Portuguese to join their events or to, be friends with them or to do anything with them. But because they are all very open, we have also the British and Irish Student Association that you can join. So besides these national societies, we also have academic societies. So let's say if there is a certain field in medicine that you are especially interested in, let's say pediatrics, ophthalmology, oncology, cardiology, you name it. I think by now we have covered the most fields. So you can join these academic associations because they are so great. They have different workshops that they host. They have guest lecturers coming from abroad to give talks. They have different kind of activities, and it's very, very good for the students, as they are already, considering what might their next career move be after graduating. What is the field that draws them mostly, and that's a very good opportunity to take. And then, of course, we have different interest groups. We have sports groups, whether it be volleyball association, whether you want to play field hockey, volleyball, basketball. We also have a cheerleading team. There's really lots and lots happening at RSU. So yeah.
It sounds like it. It sounds like an amazing place. Where can I sign up? It's amazing to see the amount of passion that you have as a member of the team there as well. And I think that goes to show how well the students are going to be supported. If the staff love what they do and helping the students this much, then it goes to show how well they're going to be looked after. And we're always very confident when we help students get admitted into your school, because we know how well you look after them. So Agnesi, thank you so much for your time this evening. We've really enjoyed hearing the insight from you and all about Riga Stradins. It's a fantastic school. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to the webinar. And I could say the same about Medlink. They really help their clients a lot. They're very involved in the whole process, and it's very, very great working with them. Yeah. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so If you didn't have enough points already, here's a few on the screen now of why you should consider studying at Riga Stradins University. Again, I know we went over the requirements briefly, but if you want to double check and see if it's the right school for you, please do book in an appointment with myself or one of my colleagues, and we'd be more than happy to go through everything for you. Okay, next up, I'm going to be passing back to my colleague Dana, who's going to go over the next school to discuss. Over to you, Dana.
Thank you, Tom. Another point that we work with in Serbia, Novi Sad University. Novi Sad is a university that has dentistry and medicine. Both of them are 6 years, and they also have pharmacy, by the way. It's located in a city called Novi Sad. They do have an entrance exam that covers basic knowledge of biology and chemistry. Living expenses are quite affordable in Novi Sad. You can live around 700 euros a month. The university doesn't have dormitories, but there are amazing apartments with very reasonable prices around the university close by. The next intake for Novi Sad would be in next October, and because the university has one intake a year, the seats fill up very fast, so hurry up and sign up if that's the perfect university for you. We have a student from Novi Sad today to speak about their experience. Marlon, are you here, Marlon?
Yes, hello, good night.
Hi, Marlon. Marlon, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience in Novi Sad and the city and the course?
Yeah, my experience, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. And it's such a big honor for me. So thank you. Yeah, my experience here in University of Novi Sad have been great. It was a big change for me because it's a different country with different culture. But I feel like at home, people here are very nice. The university and the medical faculty is very good. The teachers are amazing. The building has all the sources that you need to do a good career, and that's it. It's incredible.
Amazing. And can you tell us about the teachers and the classes a little bit more, Marlon?
Yeah, of course. The teachers are amazing. They are all Serbian teachers, but their level in English is incredibly higher, and they are like very friendly. They're always there for you, even at lectures, or even when you are not at lectures, you always can reach them throughout email and ask about everything. They're like attend all the lectures and give you all the things that you need to learn all the subjects.
Amazing. Looks like you're having a great experience there.
Yeah.
I can see how happy you are. Marlon, can you tell us, I have some students asking about the city itself. Can you tell us more about Novi Sad?
Yeah, the city is the second biggest city of Serbia, and it's a beautiful city. But the most important thing is that it's a safety place. It is a safety city. You can go anywhere at every time of the day. And the thing that I like the most about the city, besides their historical places, is the people. People here are very kind, are very nice. They always try to understand you and help you. Even if they don't, some people don't speak English, they will try at least to understand you, to help you. And it's a beautiful city with a lot of places, and that helps you to, for example, in lifestyle, we have a lot of supermarkets and stores of everything. So it's a beautiful city and incredible.
That's amazing. And I understand you're from Cuba.
Yeah, I'm from Cuba. Yes.
What an exotic area. I assume it's quite difficult for someone like you to find a place calling it beautiful, like you called Novi Sad. So I'm glad you're having a great experience there.
Yeah, it's totally different than Cuba because there is other language. In Cuba, we speak Spanish, and it is my first time out of Cuba, and it is my first time speaking other language. And here, things are very different than my country, the weather and the culture. But I feel like home, like I said, because of the surrounded. It makes me feel like home, even if it's different.
That's thank you. It was great having you and hearing about your amazing experience. So moving on from here, we'd like to talk about another. You for joining us. So moving on from here, we can introduce another very popular university we work with, which is in Poland, Białystok. Białystok is one of our most popular universities, has an amazing history. Not sure if it's my slides that are froze. Yeah, please move up to the slide of Białystok. So Białystok has a medicine course. It's a 6-year course that they have that's fully taught in English and has an amazing history. For those that don't know, Białystok used to be a castle in the past. It's like a castle, very nice campus. Tuition fees are around 14,300 euros a year. They do have an entrance exam just like Novi Sad, basic exam just to test your basic knowledge in biology and chemistry. And you have their too. Next intake for the would be in October. So also the intake here, hurry up, sign up, don't miss out on this option. And what makes it quite interesting, we have a representative, Zula, national government.
Okay, so now that I'm supposed to speak, there are some like distortions in the connection. I couldn't hear you like all of it. Could you please repeat the last sentence?
Tell us a little bit about your experience.
Okay, so I'm the employee of the International Cooperation Department, and part of the International Cooperation Department is the Welcome Center, which is also my responsibility, and I also work with the admission process. So I will try to tell you a bit from this perspective. So, well, first of all, we offer medicine in English, as Dana said. The next intake is in October. We have already started accepting applications. Oh, sorry, we are tomorrow. Yes, we're starting from October, so the process lasts until the end of August. There is an exam. It's an oral exam. Well, first we verify your application on the basis of your marks, and then if everything is okay, we invite you for a Zoom interview. Then your English skills are evaluated as well as knowledge, of course. Białystok is located in northeast of Poland. It's 2 hours road ride from Warsaw. We don't have our own airport, but the closest one is in the capital. Of course, we could brag about the quality of teaching, but let me focus on the facilities and amenities that we are working on as the International Cooperation Department for the students to have the best possible experience. So as Welcome Center, we help you, of course, with any government issues, or for example, for the with the residence permit. We organize a welcome meeting to actually warmly welcome you and tell you what can be challenges that you may face, and to actually familiarize you with the student organizations working in our university. During the academic year, we organize international integration events, and then we try to integrate the whole academic community. So not only the students, the local ones and the foreign ones, but also the administration and the teachers. So we had the karaoke night, sports day, international sightseeing day, and so on. And we're really looking forward to the next ones. We have different websites. There is a website dedicated especially for English division students. There is a separate one dedicated strictly for the admission process, where you can see all the steps clearly displayed, and we try to offer any help that you may need. We also have a My Move application. So it's an app for your phone where you can check information about how to move around the city, what to see there, and you can put your schedule there. And I know that many of our students are actually very happy with it. We offer, like research opportunities. There are different interest clubs and also sports clubs. Not sure what to add more. I mean, of course, we have modern classes and lecture rooms, and we mostly brag about our Center for Medical Simulation, where we have part of the classes. I mean, the later years, the older years, have their classes to practice, and just like at Riga University, there are actors. They are behind a glass wall. They are interacting with the students who can actually experience them as patients. And we have an emergency room with a real ambulance. And what else can I add?
Well, that's great that you mentioned so far, Ursula. Quick question that students usually are very interested to know is, what opportunities do you offer for the clinical experience for them to get good hands-on experience?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is not a question for me. I'm sorry. No.
Well, from the students, we do have a student, so that's not a problem. We do have a student. We'll talk about the experience later on. So can you tell us a little bit more about students' experience there, and the life they have, the lifestyle in the city, and how they adapt when they go there?
So, well, it's different, but I know that most of our students live in the same area around the hospitals, because this is part of our campus. And even if they don't live in a dorm, they are just like in a community in one street or one block of flats. I know that they often meet to study together. They meet in as I said, they join student organizations. Well, Białystok is a very nice city. It's not a very big city, but it has like the qualities of a big city without being so loud and so big, so distant. Like everything is within reach, within a walking distance. And it's actually a pretty safe place. Our campus is located, as you mentioned, in a beautiful palace, which we're really proud of. This is our headquarters. You can see it actually now here. One of the events on the bikes is like the Ride for Health, which is organized annually in May. And like everyone is invited. So again, students and administration and teachers, everyone joins. What else? Yes, the region is pretty attractive, and especially during warmer months, I know that students like to travel around the region.
Yeah, we do hear from students that go to Białystok. They're having such a fantastic experience. They're always going to different cities with their friends, and it's a lovely city. They love their experience there at the university. So it was lovely to have you here tonight, Ursula. Thank you very much for joining us and telling us about the university.
Thank you, Zoe.
You're welcome. So another, we have a student also from Białystok with us today, Samia. Are you here, Samia?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Samia, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience at Białystok, the lectures, the classes, and the course in general?
Yeah, of course. So I'm currently in my second year. Till now, it's been an amazing experience. Like I said, like it was said earlier, it's a small city, but in my year, we are around 80 students. So the professors really give attention to each and every student. They are very interactive. Whenever we have a question, we can either ask them directly by going to the department, or we can email them, and we get responses very quickly. The lectures, they are very well planned. The schedule is very well done. We have gaps in between the classes as well, as because the campus is spread out all over the city, so you get to travel from one place to another. And of course, the library is nearby. Not one, many libraries are there, so you can go there and study. Overall, it's an amazing experience till now. So yeah.
And can you tell us, Samia, why did you choose Białystok Medical University?
Okay, so I had applied for Czech Republic and Poland, and in Poland I only applied for Białystok. When I came when I got accepted in both of them, I went to Medlinks to see the pros and cons, and I spoke to some seniors as well, and they all suggested that Białystok is it's a very student-oriented city. The clinicals are amazing. That was the biggest point for me, that the clinicals are very, very important. And it's only 2 hours from Warsaw, so I can fly back home whenever I want. That was the biggest advantage, I think.
Well, I think I hear that from a lot of students too. And Samia, quick question for you. Last question is, when you went there as a new student, was it easy to relocate, make friends, adapt to the university, since it's diverse and very friendly?
Yeah. I mean, like any change, it was a big change. So it was not like, it wasn't very hard or very easy, but it was manageable. Like it was any change, like any change that you go in life, it's going to be a little challenging in the beginning. But I think the fact that everyone's in the same boat, it makes it very easier. We have a freshman week which is organized by our seniors to integrate with them and to meet other students from our year and from the years above us. And the professors were helpful, and of course the international department, the corporation which is there, they were helpful because to open a bank account or to just find your classes, because I was lost in my first week. So to find the classes, and the app, like it was said before, the app is extremely helpful. It has your timetable, it helps you find where the classes are. So it's a challenge in the beginning, but we have all the sources provided by the university, by Medlinks and our senior students to make it a smooth transition.
I agree with you. It is a big step to go abroad, but as long as you have the right support, just like you mentioned, have our team over there, a huge team on ground support. The university staff are very friendly. You can manage. It takes you a week or two, and you find yourself
exactly
into the place.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, I want to thank you so much, Samia, for coming and sharing your experience here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and moving on from here, as we've discussed the top universities in Europe, we have many other universities that we work with. So all you have to do is get on a call with us so we can discuss what universities would be best for you. And to do that, you have the option to book a free one-to-one consultation with one of the expert advisors at Medlink Students to guide you and answer all your questions. You can see the QR code here in front of you on the screen. All you have to do is just scan the QR code and you'll be able to book an appointment. So to go on from here, we will be discussing a little bit more about how Medlink Students helps you once you decide you want to study abroad, and what's the process with Medlink Students. I think the best person to tell us about this is Tom, an expert advisor.
So you might have been wondering, after having a look through those universities, exactly what is it that Medlink is going to do for me? The short answer is we're going to do as much as we possibly can for you. As an organization, we've developed over the years because your success is our success. We do absolutely everything we can to ensure that you don't just get into a medical school, but that you settle in, you do the best that you can throughout the years, you have all the requirements you need, and then you're able to make it as a doctor in the country that you're looking to register in, and really to make your dreams come true. That's what we're doing. Now, this all begins with a free consultation with myself or one of the other many advisors at Medlink Students. We're going to be, first of all, listening. We listen as much as we can to find out what the requirements are from you. You need to tell us everything, from what financial requirements you have, what kind of location works best for you, anything that you can think of that's going to help us. And then we, based on our over 10 years now of experience, we're going to tell you exactly which courses and which schools we think will be the most suitable. And we're going to go through any questions or concerns you have. And sometimes we can have multiple appointments. In fact, most students that we work with, we have multiple appointments with, all free of charge, in order to help you determine the perfect school for you to go to abroad. Now, once that's been the case, then of course it's the exciting first step of starting an application. Now, this is when our fantastic admissions teams start to work. So we have specific admissions teams for the different countries we work with, and they're responsible for all of the legalization work, the translation of documents, the notarizing, all the different factors. They're also going to be providing you with very up-to-date key revision materials to help you with any entrance tests or interviews. And they're going to support you as well once you've got your acceptance with things like the visa, your health insurance, traveling over there, everything. From there, you're then going to have on-ground support. So our on-ground support team are going to pick you up from the airport when you arrive. And just as the title suggests there, they're going to be helping you to settle in. So they're going to be making sure that you feel comfortable, that you've got your accommodation sorted, you're going to meet up with the other students. You can see we've got a couple of groups here in the photos of students that have been able to meet up and get to know each other. Because we understand, we come from a team of doctors who have done the same thing that you're looking to do a while before. And they know how daunting it can seem when you first arrive in a foreign country all by yourself. The last thing you want to do is just to be isolated and be on your own. That's why we make such a huge investment and such a huge effort into making sure that there are groups of you all together so you can get to know each other, you can form friendships that are going to last a lifetime, you're going to be supporting each other, even into the early hours of the morning, you'll be studying for exams together, and you're going to make unforgettable memories together. And we want to be a part of it all. We want to make sure that we're helping you in every single way, and that includes ongoing support throughout the years. We're always going to have people there to look after you should you need anything. And then of course when you graduate as well, our doctors will assist you in every way they can with registration. They're going to give you full guidance, advice and support on exactly how to progress your registration and career prospects as a doctor or dentist. So that's in a nutshell what we do. Of course, there's so many other tiny little aspects, and feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A. We're happy to go through those, or even better, book an appointment with us so we can really tailor the conversation towards your needs and see if Medlink Students is something that might be able to help you achieve your dreams. All right. Thank you, Dana. Back to you.
Thank you, Tom. And as Tom said, feel free to ask all your questions in the Q&R section. Here you have the option to scan the QR codes for the live questions and for the ebook in the webinar. So let's move to the Q&A section. We will be choosing some of the questions from all the students that have been asking. I can see we have plenty of questions. One of the main questions here I see is about diversity, and if you need to know the language to be able to join the course. We have a student with us, Lakshaja, who can answer this. Lakshaja, are you here?
Hi.
Hi. So Lakshaja, can you tell us more about whether you need the language to be able to join the course and how diverse it is?
Okay, so with the course itself, it is in English, so there's no issue with the language barrier. With the language itself, we are learning it from the first week you are in uni. Also, most of the youngsters in Georgia do know how to speak English, so there's not really an issue. With Georgian, the subject itself, if anyone's worried about it, we do continuously have tests and quizzes, just so that you're up to date with the language. We only do it for 2 semesters, so it is only for a year. And honestly, it's not as much of an issue as you would think it would be. You get the hang of the language quite quickly. Most of the locals speak English anyways, and yeah.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Lakshaja. It was lovely having you here with us tonight, and thanks for answering this question.
No worries.
Thank you. Another question here is, will you be addressing the application deadlines of all universities mentioned, and are the deadlines already passed for some universities for the 2024 intake? I think these are two questions in one. Tom, can you help us answer that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic question. There is a reason why we haven't announced the deadlines, and that's because deadlines can be very complicated, because there are the official university deadlines, but then there are also the times when we advise students to start building applications. Sometimes it can take time to build applications. Also, you have to consider that sometimes dates can shift around depending on if the university receives a high number of applicants that are successful through their process. This can change things, and we've seen this happen with numerous universities over the years. So again, what we would recommend is booking an appointment with us. We can discuss the universities you're interested in, and then we can talk about the specific deadlines for you. Now, one other factor that influences this is where you are based, because some places have different visa procedures, some countries have different visa procedures depending on where you come from, and that can also affect the length of time in which you need to make for an application process. Also, the fact that you need to prepare for the potential entrance exams with the schools. Some people need more time to prepare than others, and once you get started on the process, you then have access to all the materials through Medlink Students. This is another factor to consider. But don't worry, I know it sounds like a lot, but we will run through everything with you when you book an appointment in with us to make sure that everything is planned out right for you. We're never going to leave you in a position where you're applying too late for something, but just give us a call, the sooner the better, and we can start working towards making sure we've got the right options for you. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, Tom. Another very interesting question I can see here is students are asking in the Q&A about, can you study graduate entry medicine in 3 years? We've been asked this a lot from students. I'd like to bring in Edmund to answer this. Edmund?
Thank you, Dana. Yes, we do get asked this question a lot. Now, of course, this question is a loaded question. Some students who come to us will have done degrees, spent years studying, doing different types of courses. So at the end of all of that, what they are looking for is a degree that allows them to do medicine in the shortest amount of time. Now, we get it. As an organization, we spend time researching about universities. We do our due diligence a lot, really carefully before you will step foot into a university. So that takes us months, sometimes 12 to 18 months before we even start working with the school. So we'll look at everything about the course, whether it's recognized in the UK, because that's where a lot of our students tend to come. Now, one university that we get asked a lot about, which is based in St. Lucia. Now, offering 3 years. Now, as an organization, something we have to do is we have to make sure that you have all the information and the facts that you need to make the right decision, because there's nothing worse than finishing a course and then coming back and then realizing that you can't even use the degree. Now, of course, the GMC's requirement does state that when you do study medicine, you can study for up to 3 years. Now, of course, that comes on a work case-by-case basis. So we reached out to GMC and found out a few things. One of the things they said is they continuously remain non-committal on the acceptability on the 3-year course, particularly the one that's offered in St. Lucia. And what the GMC stated is whether a course is 3 years is acceptable is not something that they can answer definitively. And they, of course, went on to mention the name of the school, which is Commonwealth University College of Medicine, is an institution that we have highlighted as a potential issue due to the course duration. Therefore, any qualification from the university will need to have a full awarding assessment. At such time, as the graduate contacts us regarding the PLAB or any applying for registration. Now, this essentially means that they have now highlighted the fact that students are being told they can go and study for 3 years, so it becomes more enticing. The course in itself teaches medicine for 4 years. So do your due diligence. We will also do the hard work for you. Make sure that you're doing the right thing for you. We will always provide you with the right information, and we'll also provide you with the right schools that offer the right courses. Because as we mentioned, we want you to be able to come back. We want you to succeed, just like you saw in Dr. Kevway, his story. He took the step and then he went abroad to study. Now, it may have taken him 4 or 5 years, but he managed to finish. So whilst it might seem easier and taking a shortcut sometimes might be an easier way, we will do the research for you. And we'll make sure that you can find an option that allows you to come back to the UK and register. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Edmund. And I can see here a question. I'd like to invite Lakshaja again to answer it. Lakshaja, are you still here?
Yeah.
All right. We have another question for you from students. I think it's best you answer it as a student over there. They're asking about safety, racism. Is it safe? Do you feel safe while you're over there walking in the streets? How's the country? How's the city?
So with Georgia, I know that was a big concern for my parents as well before me moving down here. And honestly, I just have no concerns about the safety here. It's actually ranked as a country with one of the lowest crime rates as well. In terms of racism and any of that, I personally haven't experienced it. I can't talk for everyone, but me and my friends haven't experienced any of it. I think also the locals are used to having different cultures, different backgrounds in Georgia. Just tourism in general in Georgia is so high. And then also with the multiple universities here in Georgia, personally for me, I haven't experienced any. The locals are all friendly with safety as well. I have no concerns with stepping out of my apartment late at night, whether I'm going to meet up with my friends or going to the library. There has been no issue. I literally have no worries regarding going out at night.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point here. Georgia attracts students from all over the world. They have many so there's plenty of international students from all over the world, different minor ethnicities. Tell us a little bit more about the diversity, Lakshaja. Do you see students from different backgrounds with you?
Yeah, so many. I think most of my friends, they're all from all over the world. We've got one from South Africa, one from the Caribbean, one from India. We've got just so many diverse backgrounds. Like the dean said as well, we've got over 70 countries going to European universities. So just that in itself, you know how diverse it's going to be. Everyone's from different religions, different backgrounds, and everyone, you would think it would be either like a culture shock coming to Georgia. It's honestly not. You get along with everyone. There's literally no issues.
I see you have a quite multicultural group of friends.
Yeah.
It must be exciting getting to learn about their culture.
Yeah, so exciting. That combined with the medicine, it's literally all you can want.
That's amazing. I'm sorry, Lakshaja, but we're having a lot of questions coming in. One last question for you.
That's all right.
Are the teachers friendly at the university?
Yeah, so the teachers are so helpful, so friendly. They're also the top doctors that work in Georgia that lecture us on what we're learning. The teachers as well, you can text them at literally any time of the day and just ask as many questions as you want if you have any concerns. They do say like emailing them, obviously they're doctors, they've got long hours, so they just give out their phone numbers. They're so helpful. The way they teach as well, I would say, is like one of the best teaching styles that I've seen before, because they really want you to understand what they're learning. And they're not just teachers, they're doctors as well, so they understand how medical students learn, which I think is a plus point. Especially the phone number thing as well. You can text them anytime of any day and they will get back to you. So yeah.
Well, that's amazing. It's very important to get the support from the professors.
Yeah.
Get the best quality of education. Lakshaja, how did it feel to you moving from one country to a new country? How did you find the experience?
Honestly, I know some people would be nervous, but more for me, I was more excited than anything. I did think right at the very end, like, what am I actually doing? But then once landing here, it just all made sense. I wouldn't ever change it. And especially I came here, I think 10 days before settling into my apartment, all of that. And then once you start uni, you're just so busy that I know for many students, they are concerned about being homesick and missing their family and friends. But because your uni days are so packed, you go to uni, your days are fully packed, learning all the time. You've got exams and orals and quizzes, so that there's always something to do, which I think keeping your days busy helps you with missing your friends and family. So I think that is a big thing that most students are worried about, especially the people that I've spoken to as well. But honestly, it's the passion that gets you through it. So because I was so excited, I wasn't as nervous as I should have been, but I literally wouldn't have changed it.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that you would do it again.
Yeah,
How was the support you got from Medlink when you were relocating to a new country?
Yeah, oh, so good. Even just finding an apartment, I think that was one of the main things for me. I just wanted to get everything done really quick and just move all of my stuff in. And with Medlink's support, I got my apartment done within 1 day of being here. So I landed, slept all of that next day, went apartment hunting. And it was so good, even setting up a bank account. The apartment hunting it went so smoothly. It can be a stressful process, but obviously with Medlink helping me out, it was such a smooth process for me to find an apartment within my budget, within distance to the uni, and everything that I needed that should have been included in my apartment was found. So yeah, it was so helpful. It was such a smooth process, literally not stressful at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Lakshaja. Thank you very much for answering all these questions. But as you know, you were a student once. You know how many questions a student can have.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right. Thank you very much, Lakshaja.
No worries.
I'm so sorry to say that we have come to the end of the webinar. It was fantastic today. We really had fun hearing from all the passionate students who are on their way on becoming very successful doctors. We still have a lot of questions. We still have a lot of things that we didn't answer, but we can't go over them all. We're running out of time. So our advisors here are more than happy to get on a call, one-to-one, free phone call to answer all your questions. Of course, after watching this webinar, many of you might be wondering how much is it going to cost you to go and study in Europe, or which university you're eligible to apply to. Some also might be considering taking a gap year and reapplying in their home country, and maybe most of you are worried of not achieving the predicted grades. So whatever your concerns are, we have spoken to so many students in the same position as you. All you have to do is get on a call with us, let us help you and answer all your questions so we can see what's the best way forward for you. And lastly, I would really like to thank all the students that have taken the time to come and share their experience with you tonight and answer a lot of questions. Also, I would like to thank the university representatives that have helped us or helped you get an insight about the universities. And big thanks to all our future doctors that are hungry and passionate to achieve their dream and become doctors. You have taken the first step towards achieving your dream by coming here tonight. We would like to help you take one more step closer towards achieving your dream by getting on this call that we've been speaking about to help you answer questions, look at your qualifications, and see which university is the perfect place for you to go and achieve your dream. So I would like to thank you all for coming here tonight, and have a lovely evening, everyone.